This is Ouch My Wallet, hosted by Robert Simmons, a production of the TFYLP Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ouch My Wallet for January 8th, 2020, part of the TFYLP Network. As usual, I'm your host, Rob. With me tonight, we have Paul.
Hello.
Lucas.
Hey.
And Rick.
Greetings, people of Earth.
So, this is our usually weekly show. We should be back on a pretty normal cadence now, Wednesday nights here on YouTube, where we're just going to talk about what toys we've bought lately and generally derail pretty quickly into random nonsense and whatever other strikes our fancy.
Are we still doing stuff we got for Christmas?
If you want to.
Well, we have not had a show since then, so...
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So,
because tonight it's Ouch My Wife's Wallet.
Well, kick it off. Kick it off, Rick.
All right. Well, all right. I'm going to start off with the big guns.
Oh, wow.
So, you know what? I make it easy for my wife. I like to send her a detailed list of items that I would appreciate. And she usually gets me none of
You
them.
also send her, like, links to where to purchase it at?
Yes. Preferred retailer, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, so usually, as has been our tradition for the last 20 years, she gets me none of them. This year, however, she sent me a link and said, oh, you can get me this. Not, hey, maybe get this. No, you can get me this. So I got her some Pottery Barn robe.
So you're like, let me borrow your credit card, honey, and I'll purchase those gifts for you.
No, I paid for this with Rick money. Don't ask me what I did to get it.
Rare.
So one day a box from Big Bad Toy Store shows up, and I'm like, I didn't ship anything. So instantly I realized, oh, this must be my Christmas gift. Let me not open it. And so she didn't even wrap it. She just put a bow on the Big Bad Toy Store brown box.
Pretty good.
I put like some heart into it and stuff. You know, I make
wrapping's bullshit, especially for adults.
You know what?
And for guys,
take pride that I'm the man who wraps all the gifts for the girls.
I do the gift wrapping in my house too. That's funny.
But I like my shit's legit.
So are you guys like professional rappers where you do like a fantastic job, or are you like me where I'm just like, all right, there is wrapping paper on it and some tape, like
yeah, it's like a saran wrap or something.
Right.
I do a decent job. I know how to do ends and corners and stuff. Like I don't overstress it. Like it doesn't have to be perfect or professional, but it's decent. Like the most my wife will do is toss it in a gift bag and then like put some of the wrapping or the crinkly paper on top.
That's bullshit for Christmas. That's a birthday thing.
Yeah. Well, some things are they're too odd shaped. Trying to wrap them's a pain in the ass unless you have another box to put them in, and screw that.
Right. So I there's geometry involved, everything with me. So coincidentally, I also cook most of the meals in the house. But anyway, so she got me something that now has forced me to get the other one.
Oh dear.
She got me the Mega Action Series Moss 02 Megatron.
So that's officially licensed.
This is a real thing.
Yeah,
this is a real thing.
And this is a different Moss than the one third-party Moss. Just
yeah, that Moss doesn't exist anymore.
What is that company that made that?
This is...
I thought it was MAS.
Alliance. Toy Alliance.
And yeah, it's MAS. It's not Moss with two A's.
It's like Mega Action something.
Yeah, well...
And so they have a Megatron and a Prime.
Yeah, and then there's a Nemesis Prime. But people call it TFYLP. It's actually TFYLP. So... Or IDW. It's IDWA.
Wow,
so
there was supposed to be a Soundwave too. They showed one off like 2 years ago.
Don't judge me, Rob.
Never came out.
It's 2020. Get some new material.
I know. So anyway, I had to order the Optimus now. That forced my hand.
So you haven't opened it yet?
No, that's gonna be an episode to cut the tape this week.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm a film that episode as soon as we're done with this.
I refuse to buy those, not because I don't want them. It's because there was like that. It came out at the tail end of that time period where there were all these giant,
so big,
licensed, non-transforming Transformers, and I bought the Hot Toys Optimus. I bought the Ultimetal Optimus, and then that came out.
Well, that's your fault, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, for wanting to get something as it come out, and then because those were like. The Ultimetal Prime was ridiculous, so expensive, and then that came out. It's almost the same size. It looks just as good, and it's like $200. So,
well, and they've been running clearance sales on them too.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
really?
You can get them
Great.
even cheaper. So
yeah,
I feel like
they're down to
Thanks,
like $125 now.
Don't most statues end up on clearance? Like statues and busts. It feels like just because they have to make
not the Prime One Studios.
Really.
it depends on the statue. I think there's some I think some of the movie statues are actually pretty well in demand, and those have sold out and are actually worth more. But a lot of the ones, I think, especially the ones that aren't accurate, I think end up going on clearance.
Okay.
Well, I think the Hard Hero ones are pretty cartoon accurate.
Yeah. The bus.
Yeah, the
a lot
bus
of those, though.
and
They made a lot.
I think I saw
line's been running
auction
since
end for
like
one for $5.
2000.
No, they'd only
or like early 2000s.
No.
That line started.
It was only 2 years that they had the license, but they put out 4 statues and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 busts.
That's got to be the longest non-transforming figure line, officially licensed thing that lasted that long. It wasn't by Hasbro. Like at least statues and busts and things, right? I can't think of anybody else.
I would say Diamond. Yeah, I would say Diamond's statue line.
Okay.
The Diamond statue line. I mean, there's over 40 pieces of that.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about that, obviously.
Yeah, those are more hyper style interpretations of the statues. I think Palisades put out
a lot of Palisades.
Palisades put out, I think, maybe 8, 9 pieces. I'm all over the statue scene. Not the Prime One Studios. Those are.
Yeah, that's another world. It's just like a whole nother universe.
That's a professional
cross.
statue collector world.
Yeah.
All right. So who wants to go next? Lucas or
Oh,
Paul?
I get to choose. Oh,
go for it.
I choose Paul, and then Paul gets to choose.
Oh, the rules change as the world turns.
What are the rules?
Okay, I'll go with. This is a few figures. Before the show, I was like, I really. Every time it's time for ouch my wallet, I'm like, oh, I don't buy a lot of Transformers for myself. I don't do that. I'm wrong. I always.
You start thinking, wait a minute, I got all kinds of bullshit.
Yeah, I'm a.
Just look at all those.
You start collecting Cyberverse.
Yeah,
well, that's what I got here. I got the deluxes. I don't know if you. These are actually really good toys for that toy line. Like this.
This is the McAdam Build-A-Figure wave, right?
Yeah, and I was gonna just quickly show them all. Like this is what you can essentially make of him. You can make almost a half of him, and one of his arms that you can't connect. His forearm is here.
So Anna was telling us on Microcasters last night that the McAdam toy felt really terrible. Do you agree with that, or?
I mean, it's not Anna. That she has as soon as she sees or touches something, she has a meter in her head.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly. I don't have the meter. Isn't there? I never even considered oh, this isn't a great toy, because it's I'm just oh, it's gonna be McAdam. It doesn't transform, so of course she hates it.
So let me ask you: do the figures that have the Build-A-Figure transform?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they're pretty cool transformations. They're probably the best Cyberverse figures.
They absolutely are.
I literally have a pile of 20 Cyberverse figures that I haven't opened yet, just because they're awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're generally bad, but these are these are deluxes. It's not that's why those were called Warrior. They're a different price point, and they're they're not as good. I wouldn't say these are necessarily on par with the Generations Deluxe, but it's still these are the best.
It's closer.
This is what people wanted when the Cyberverse first came out, and these are better than like Robots in Disguise toys.
You can tell the plastic quality between like a Studio Series line or the Siege line versus some of the early Cyberverse stuff. Does McAdam feels like good plastic like Studio Series and Siege, or does it feel like the kind of cheaper Cyberverse style plastic?
It's definitely Cyberverse.
Okay.
It definitely is. Like but it has paint apps and it's solid, but it's all big beefy ball joints, for the parts and stuff. It's fine for what it is. It's fine. It's not like a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
But
well, I know
here's
that
Shockwave.
it's reminding me of the Rid 2012 or 13 line of toys. These four here are. They're kind of looking like that.
I think they're still better than those.
Really? I thought those were some really fun toys. Like they're not collector grade, but
yeah.
What is he
I
trying
think
to
the only thing that bums me out about those figures is the plastic. Like the articulation is really great. Like the transformation is pretty good and everything. It has good paint apps. Just the plastic is still, I don't know. And I don't know if they just have a certain type of plastic that they use for kids lines or what, but
probably. I'm just, I like the show. I think the show is quite good as far as fiction goes for children. It's still for children, by the way. But I think I was really excited when these got announced, and so I'm glad to finally have them. And I'm gonna, as long as there's a character I want, I'm gonna get it. Of this style.
Hey Rick, so we were talking about the McAdam figure last night on Microcasters, and you need to, any of you still have contacts at Hasbro, you need to make them do the McAdam Build-A-Figure as a single release. Preferably with maybe better detail or something, as like San Diego Comic-Con or some crap.
I'm sure it's coming.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Groot Build-A-Figure, eventually they put that out as like a Toys R Us exclusive the following year.
Yeah. But Transmutate never got a release. Which I think was
but that was a different time. That was a different time, though.
Yeah. I think that was the first Transformer Build-A-Figure.
Yeah, that was 2005.
Yep.
Jesus.
So,
was it? No, it wasn't 2005.
It was 2000. It was the year 2005.
Yep. I mean, I like the fact that they're doing this Build-A-Figure thing. It creates some congruency between the Hasbro, boy brands, or I mean, Transformers is not a gendered brand anymore. Yeah, but I just think it's really cool to see how they've taken some of the successes of like Star Wars Black Series and the Marvel Legends and have been able to apply it to Transformers, like integrated in there slowly but surely with Studio Series and now even Cyberverse with the Build-A-Figure. So it kind of blows that it's going to take 8 toys to put this guy together, and it's not like wave 1 and then 4 new characters in wave 2. They're actually splitting it up beyond that, so it's going to be kind of
it's like Devastator. It's like Studio Series Devastator.
Yes, it is.
Well, if they do McAdam as a single release, I'll pick it up somehow. But I'm not buying all the Cyberverse figures.
Big pile of regret.
Nah, I don't care that much.
I mean, if you watch the show, maybe you'd be more into it. But I can't imagine
You've said enough good about it. The episodes are short enough that it's not a big commitment to like, all right, fine, I'll spend another 12 minutes and watch an episode.
Yeah, the first season is hard to get through, man.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
everyone has said that once you get to season 2, that for adults it's more enjoyable. So we'll see.
Well, it's more of a normal story. Lucas, I guess it's you.
All right. Well, I only have a couple things, and they're a little more expensive. So I guess the first thing I'm going to show off here is.
I knew it was going to be a statue. I could tell.
Here. So, yeah. So I got myself
cube.
Talking about statues. So I got myself a statue. Another one. So so I've been selling some stuff. So I said, you know what? Once I sell So, yeah. Well, once I sell enough to buy the statue, then I'll get it. So I went ahead and I got this just shortly after Christmas. But so this is my display here. This is the Imaginarium Art Megatron. This is their Legacy of Cybertron series, which is like a little bit smaller statues. So, but
I'm happy with that purchase.
so
Happy with that.
so yeah.
Does it fit in with like I know you have like that big Prime statue and you got like Jazz and a few others. Is this the same series as the Prime, or is it going to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much like I've got a couple of Vesta cabinets upstairs that are well lit and whatever, and so I have the Prime, the Jazz, the Starscream. I've got this, and then I have Ironhide coming, and then I also have the 3A Bumblebee
Yeah.
kind of with it too. So my plan is I want to get that 3A or 30 Soundwave that's coming out, because I think it'll be close enough, and then I'll put them with this, because the Imaginarium Art actually does have a Soundwave they released, but it's massive. It's like I think it's like 30 some inches or whatever, just like too big for my display. So and it wouldn't fit in with this just because it'd be too big. So yeah.
Where are you going to draw the line on statues? Are you going to like collect this entire line here, or until they quit, or?
I don't think that I will, just because I don't have enough display space. So like pretty much I'm trying to fit I have two bookcases upstairs that are like with glass and well lit and whatever. And so I don't really have the room to I think that this line, they had announced that they're doing 12 total. And so I just don't know that I'm going to have the room to do all of them. So I think it's going to end here, but I mean, I guess we'll see if I can somehow convince my wife to let me get another bookcase or something or two.
Once you got the display looking nice and it's full, you're just going to be like, that's it.
No, just do what I do. Just
fill the
do
garage.
what you want. Yeah, just do.
But I mean, I think at the end of the day, though, I mean, like I'm
what
getting.
What is she gonna do? Leave?
Y'all got kids together. Yeah. She can't get away.
You don't know that they're your kids.
My wife's cool about it. She's fine. Like, we're saving and putting food on the table. We're okay. So, but yeah, and again, it's not like I'm getting a new statue every week. Like I'm, I got the Optimus, several months back, and I've gotten this one, and I've funded it with sales of other figures too. So, but yeah, so like I've got the Optimus, a Bumblebee, Jazz. I'm gonna get Ironhide, Starscream, Megatron, and then once I get that 3-0 Soundwave, I mean that pretty much is kind of encapsulates a lot of the main characters. I mean, there's a couple, Prowl and some of those that aren't in there, but
yeah.
So
cool.
So yeah, that's my.
All right.
Ouch, my wallet.
All right. Well,
Robert.
I'm not gonna go over this too long, but I picked up Masterpiece Hound.
Hey.
And again, if you checked out Microcasters last night on Facebook, I was a special guest because Anna was the only normal cast member who had the toy. So we talked about it. As you can see, I did finish getting it into Jeep mode. The transformation.
It actually took you this long until
he had to call out of work to. He's like, listen, I got a thing I'm doing. I'm gonna be all day, man.
There's one thing that caught me, and because I don't use instructions too much, that helps me learn the toy, and it's just part of the fun, the puzzle aspect for me. There's these little gray flaps inside here, and I didn't know which way to position them, and that took me way too long. I finally gave up, looked at a YouTube video, because the instructions that came with this are actually pretty crap. It's a detailed figure, and it's all the line work that's black and white, and they shade half of it gray when it's the piece that moves. And it's like, how was that lined up? You can't really tell.
Don't you love instructions that just say change? Change. Change.
Well, and not to mention, especially with detailed figures, but even non-detailed figures, like even Studio Series stuff, the hard part is always getting them back into vehicle mode or beast mode, whatever that is. And they don't give those instructions. They just say, reverse the order. Thanks, guy. You need to tell me how to line things up. Anyways, that was the hard part getting the Jeep. I lost too much time on that. But after that,
So this is one thing that's somewhat annoying is like, okay, I understand crappy instructions on a Hasbro figure that's like $20,
yeah,
but for a figure that you're paying that much money on, like they can't take actual pictures or some or like colored instructions and actually have it
not need
going
a
both ways. I
magnifying
mean,
glass.
I don't know.
Well, remember that brief time, like in Generations 30th and Prime Beast Hunters, we had huge instructions. Like, it was almost ridiculously huge, but it was
Yeah, they were
great.
so big.
There was a lot to say about it positive, but the instructions for this were crap. But ultimately, it's not too bad. I mean, the arms fold up and go under the hood, and the feet and legs fold up and go into the feet. Rather, the legs do. Knocked off his tire. But it wasn't too bad. But yeah, he's a. I'm sure most of you know about it. You can hear us ramble about it for like what 45 minutes, an hour last night.
Yeah.
But he's great. If you're into Masterpiece, this is since they came back with Masterpiece Prime. This is really a lot of people call it a return to form. It's very much like in the vein of Sunstreaker. But he's awesome. He's great. Yeah.
What do you think of the canopy?
I like that it gives us weapon and part storage. I just absolutely love it when things do it. Like Solo Chogokin, the Voltron and Vehicle Voltron,
Yeah.
both of those have bases where you can put all the extra weapons and integrate it
Yeah.
in your display, and I really like that. So I like that it has that. The soft top itself is kind of meh. It doesn't really tab in. You just kind of... I can't do it. You can transform this gun around and keep it on there while you do it, but I'll just take it off for now. You slide it on, and then it just kind of like grooves into place, but it doesn't really tab in, and it's kind of meh. So, I mean, it's that thing from that one episode, and it works as weapon storage, so I like it from that. But I mean,
So did
pop it on there.
did
it's
I
there,
imagine
but
this, or can he hold that like as a
he
shield for some
can.
reason?
There's a handle. Except that middle gray
Mm.
piece is the handle. And you see, it's got the typical Masterpiece peg system where it pegs into the hand. But it's mainly
Nice.
great as weapon storage. I mean, it even stores the extra faces, which is super nice. So it's cool. And then it comes with Spike that is the Spike we've gotten, but it's larger for some reason. He has holes in his feet that no one knows what they're for. They don't have magnets in it, but it looks like he has a magnet in the
Is he
back.
Is he Human Alliance size?
He's about that size. Yeah, I don't have one on hand. I don't want to leave to go get it, but he's about that size, and it's mainly because in car mode the Jeep is much bigger, and he looks natural sitting in it at this size. If you put like the MP44 size Spike, it looks dumb, and part of that's just mass shifting in Transformers universe.
Yeah, yeah.
But he comes with a hologram as well, but isn't articulated at all. Not that it necessarily needs to be. This is just for car mode, and he comes with his hologram projector gun thingy as well. So he's got a bunch of cool accessories. But yeah, he's a good release. I think people that really didn't like B, which they had plenty of reasons, and they had some gripes about Prime, and there's some valid criticism for that too. I don't think this guy has any of that, other than people don't like the new pricing structure for Masterpiece. Which, what are you gonna do? So
Cry about it.
I got
on the internet.
I got another little thing. If we can circle back.
Yeah, that's what we do. We make rounds until we give
I
up.
got a. This was on the list that I sent to my wife, and I told my buddy about it, and apparently he went to the Hasbro warehouse sale.
Oh, nice.
Uh-oh.
These were $10 a pop.
You got one of the $10
$10?
Omegas.
$10.
He bought 4 of them.
They limited
So
you
he's
to
like,
4 or 5.
Rick, I don't know, but he's like, Rick, Merry Christmas.
Aw.
Thank you, Saul. I'm very happy with him. Very, very good figure.
Eddie in the chat asks if I think the plastic quality has changed from the older MPs. There's no diecast in this, but there wasn't in our early cars either. I don't know if any of the carbots have diecast. It feels the same to me as that quality.
Yeah.
Would you?
No, some of them have diecast, right?
Some of them do, but
Yeah.
not the carbots.
Usually in the feet.
I don't think the carbots do. But would you agree with that, Lucas, Paul? Do you think the Masterpiece, the plastic feel has changed any?
No. I think it's been pretty much the same. I think the only change really has been they put more paint on it now than they used to.
And they upped the engineering a lot.
Yeah,
Well,
I think as the engineering changes, the plastic tolerance or plastic consistency needs to change
Yeah.
in order for certain parts to be smaller yet retain their stability. So I think in that sense they may have changed the chemical formula of the plastic
But it doesn't
a
feel
little
like
bit,
cheap or it doesn't
but
feel better or worse. It
it
still
doesn't.
feels good,
Yeah,
just like the original.
it feels I think you're getting what you're paying for.
Yeah. So yeah, Omega. I think you haven't opened him yet.
Oh, I have.
Oh.
I have.
What do you think of him?
Yes, I have. He's over there. You know what? I have that. I have Gabriel,
Gabriel's so good.
the DX9, and he's so nice. That this was just kind of like repetitive almost. The one thing that bothered me about this Omega Supreme, it's that goddamn claw. It's clear plastic. Why does that need to be clear plastic? And the eyes aren't blue. So
I mean, the claw is supposed to be like flames as it rockets into the outer space.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong on that.
No, I'm right.
I think
Imagination.
I mean, it looks cool. I don't know. I actually thought
most rockets don't have a fucking claw. Okay, so it doesn't make sense in real life. It's supposed to be fire. That's why they did it that way. John Warden said so.
I actually thought that.
Don't try and retcon it, Paul.
I actually liked the Omega compared to Gabriel. Like, I thought it was like it was the transformation was different enough. The look was different enough. It's like a fun toy. I mean, not that Gabriel's like, it's fun as well, but I feel like Gabriel's like the super nice one that you're like putting in your nice display. And that this Omega is like the one that you just pull out with your kids and the MicroMasters and all that. So like, I had a fair amount of fun like with that. And I think it's the best quality of the Titans that they've done. That's what I liked about it too. Like mine at least didn't have any QC issues. So
it looked cool.
I'll agree.
Go ahead.
I think my issues are superficial as far as the colors, but engineering is good, quality is good. I'm happy with it. I'm like 92.3% sure this is being retooled into Scorponok.
Interesting. I'm surprised that they sold that for $10. Like, I know prices in toys are made up. Like, I get that, like the retail price, and there's usually a mark of at least 50% on that stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's it changes the hands, goes through a lot of money. But at $10, they lost money on the manufacturing cost on that.
Yeah.
Even then.
So, at the Hasbro employee store, something like this for the employees would have been roughly cost. This would have been around $55.
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
Yeah, because I got the big AT-ATs from Star Wars when they came out, whenever that was, and they were $55 toy store.
That's just so $10. I mean, great, but I'm surprised.
Just got to make space. Got to make space.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't buy it, because I don't have space.
It's either that or destroy it. That's probably
Yeah.
what they were thinking.
I mean, if I could have got it for $10, I would have picked it up just to play with it a bit, knowing that I could resell it to someone or give it to my kid. $10, I don't care.
Sell it for 20 or 50 or whatever.
Yeah, just to play with it, because it looked cool, it looked interesting, but I know it doesn't have a permanent place in my collection anymore. It would have at one time.
I mean, that warehouse sale was so bonkers. It was the deluxe Siege Deluxes were $5. Siege Voyagers were $5.
Oh, man,
Siege Leaders were $5. There was the prices made 0 cents.
So, size doesn't dictate price.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely not an ouch my wallet.
Yeah, it was
nothing was ouch my wallet for me. This was the Shattered Glass episode of ouch my wallet. This was yay my wallet. That's what this is. This was yay. What a relief.
Nice. All right, so Paul.
Walletgasm. Well, quick update. I just transformed this for the first time. This alt mode is bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Shock.
That's stupid. That's really stupid.
That is hot
that's
garbage.
accurate though.
For the listeners only, this is the deluxe Shockwave. I mean, this whole spider tank thing, that was a mistake for Shockwave. But what are you going to do?
A mistake. What is
And
what
don't
does
say
Megatron
that.
transform into? Is he the H tank?
Like a hover tank.
Okay, hover tank.
Like
okay.
no, he's like a different. It's like a almost like a hover tank or something. It's kind of cool.
Does it look like the Ruination bot?
He's a
One of
coffee
those
maker.
transforms to a hover tank. Looks like kind of like a wedge.
Sort of. Yeah, it's a wedge tank.
Okay.
Let's go with wedge tank.
And no, Eddie, they are not available to get anymore. The $10 ones. That's long gone. We actually had
Snoozing.
a friend of ours at Big Ten Robot actually went down there and made a trip, but the Megas were long gone by the time he got there.
Yeah, he drove really early in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so I won't do a group of toys like I did before, because I don't want to run out of stuff. But I got Studio Series Soundwave with laser balls on his arm there.
Like
And
Laserbig
I think
looks
this
like a resin proto.
he actually has some articulation there. He can he hooks on to Soundwave's arm, and he can sort of go up and down. He does not transform at all.
But he doesn't turn into the Bumblebee, does he?
No.
So it's shit.
It's a piece of shit.
Fuck that toy.
I mean, I think this is awesome because Soundwave had a pretty good deluxe in Dark of the Moon, but it was also really hard to find because it was kind of one of those almost Japanese only things.
That's how I got mine.
But it didn't really look like he looks in the movie. He's kind of like stocky, kind of gorilla army in the film, and this is a lot closer. Like all these Studio Series toys look like they walked right off the movie, and this one is no exception.
Do you have the Human Alliance to compare it to? That's the one I still have.
I mean, not here,
Okay.
not with me. I have the
I didn't know if you knew in your head.
movie the best. Yeah, I had the movie the best version, which was like maybe a year or two ago, and it's that same Human Alliance mold. I mean, I don't like the proportions on that one. That one's like too gorilla-like. This one is spot on. It's great.
It's probably
He's a little
more in
small.
scale. Oh, is it
He's a small deluxe.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's because all the Studio Series stuff is kind of it's more price point than size class. This is one of the smaller deluxes, but he's got a ton of silver paint on him, painted top to bottom, as you might say. I really recommend this one. And what's weird is that the single packed cases of these toys made it to retail before the like assortment packs. So that's why I only have Soundwave, because I got a case of Soundwave.
Eddie
And
asks, or makes a comment about the backpack on him. Is that? Looks like he does.
Yeah,
he's got a car hanging off of him. Yeah.
He's got the hood, like any Bumblebee toy from the movie. Okay, like what are you gonna do?
Typical Transformers fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a goddamn transformer. So
You know,
They
one
make
day-
pretty car transformers that don't have a car hood or half a car hanging off the back. Like they can do better.
okay, sure.
But I don't think that that's too bad. I mean, in comparison to some.
No, it's not the worst.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
probably-
It's not the best. It's not the worst.
I mean, it looks about like maybe Barricade, the last Barricade toy from.
So
It's better. It's actually not the deluxe version of this from Dark of the Moon did a better job at hiding the backpack than this guy. But this is a more accurate to the movie looking
and that
guy.
one was black. At least the one I got was black. I don't know if they came out in other colors. I got rid of it.
Yeah, there was a silver one. He's like more like a regular like a athletic human
Yeah.
looking. It does look cool. It just doesn't
It's not
match
accurate.
what he looks like in the film.
for anyone who has seen The Mandalorian, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you, they do make a reference to stormtroopers being bad at shooting, right? Like they finally put that in Star Wars canon that there's two stormtroopers
Oh, God,
5
that's
feet
hilarious.
away from a tin can, and they're shooting at it, and they can't hit the stupid can, right? And they're competing with each other. They're 5 feet away from the stupid can. So one day, one of us is going to grow up to make a Transformers movie, and someone's going to be like, "It just looks like the car is hanging off your back." I mean, it's not really.
I was wondering where you were going.
You basically just stood up.
Well, the Bumblebee movie kind of made Kibble a real thing when she's under the car and it's like, hey, oh, there's the head. You know, that was a very you could if you take a stretch, it kind of was that. But I would like to see that, Rick, like a real fan in joke like that. That would be great.
Yeah, I was waiting for I I don't think we pitched this to him, but I was waiting for a where'd the trailer go moment in Dark of the Moon.
It's over there.
Prime, yeah, Spike's like, Prime, where's your trailer?
What trailer? I never had a trailer. All right, so I think we're back to Lucas.
All right. So my other piece is somewhat pricey, not as expensive as the statue, but I have several IDW artists that I follow and that I really enjoy their art, and so I enjoy collecting the original pieces that they drew for the comics. And so
Art game can get deep.
Mr. Alex Milne, put up a few pieces from More Than Meets the Eye, and so I checked it out, and I was like, oh, what has he got here? So the piece I got, and I don't know if we can show it off, but this is from More Than Meets the Eye 36, the page 22, and this is the last appearance of Trailbreaker on there, if you can see, because he drank some Energon. You read the thing, and ended up that was the end of him. So,
Rip.
Well, he was called was it Trail Finder or something at that point? Like they made an in joke
Trail
about
Cutter.
it. Like Trail. He's
Trail
like,
Cutter.
yeah, it's like I think he's at Swerves, and it's like you should change your name to Trail Cutter because that's more badass. And so from that comic on, he was Trail Cutter.
It's back when they used to drop the IDW comics in the toys too.
Yeah, that's cool. I have a Mill original as well. That's cool. I can't find it. I'd like to.
Yeah, I have a
Okay.
couple. I also want to give a shout out. Casey Collier put up some pieces recently too. So if you follow him on Twitter, he put a listing of all of his that he is currently putting up. So he has quite a few. I think he has a couple Lost Light number 20. And then I think he has some Optimus Prime ones as well. So, yeah.
So do you have a wall of art, or are you still working on building it, or do you just go in a drawer?
So I'm actually redoing it. I have not done it yet, but where I'm putting my statues at, I'm actually taking down. I have some other wall art, some Pearl Jam posters or something, and so I'm taking those off. And I got this huge commission that Andrew Griffith did of this poster is massive. I guess I should have showed that off on the show, but I don't even know I could hold it in frame because it's so big. It's
the megalith one,
yes.
Megalithograph or whatever.
Yeah, so he did this mega lithograph or whatever poster thing, and so I got that, and I got a poster frame for it, or a frame, and so I'm going to put that up, and then I have multiple other original art as well. So I'm going to kind of put that on the outside of that.
I approve.
Nice.
I approve.
Very cool.
But I've not done it yet. It's in process.
Once you find a professional framer, man, that stuff gets expensive too.
Yeah, all the stuff that luckily most of the pictures are pretty standard sizes, so I have not really had to do it. But yeah, one day, I'm sure I'll probably get all the stuff professionally framed. The biggest thing for me right now is just putting them into frames so that they're not, destroyed or whatever.
Just so you know, if you're an anti-AFA person, that's what framing your art is. It's the same. Milne comes to C2E2 almost every year now, which is a big a Wizard World sort of thing in Chicago. And
yeah,
if he's there, and when I used to run a booth there, I would be the first one there. I'd get him before it opened because I was already there, and I'd be like, "Hey, can you do me something, Starscream?" Yeah, it never disappointed. It was so cool to get really cool, unique pieces from him. So way to go on that.
Nice.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Alex is great. So that is a great piece. So
cool. All right, I think my next one, I don't think I talked about this on the show. I have had it for a little bit, though, is Swindle from MMC. Of crap. I just blanked on his name, but the only thing I don't like about this figure is that the tolerances are too tight. Nobody wants a floppy figure, right? Especially something that's going to be part of a combiner, but the tolerances on this guy are insanely tight. Like, you're going to have to... I'm glad that my Spudger pack I bought from Amazon many years ago comes with a metal one, like, because they're so tight. The transformation is great, but they're so tight in that actually the underpiece of the hood has a pin in it. And when it's in one direction, one pin is used, and then you take it, like, you spin something around, it pins in the other way, and a different tab is used. But it was in there so tightly that it broke off trying to transform. And I was pushing on it the wrong direction. I mean, it's my fault, but everything on here is so tight, it was hard to tell. But it doesn't really affect anything, even though it broke off. I had to dig it out so that when you spun it around, it could still fit in. But other than that, I picked up this guy. I think it's currently the best Bruticus coming out for third party. The sculpts are really quite accurate to the cartoon. The only thing it misses for that masterpiece feel is that, there's some paint on it, like, some of the purple's painted, whatever, but the figure's not painted, top to bottom, Paul. It just has...
Does he have the arm cannon?
Yeah, I knocked it off as I was playing with it. He's got another weapon, too, that fell somewhere here in my carpet. I'll get that later, but...
Hashtag T2B.
T2B. I feel like that'd get co-opted really quickly for something else.
Probably. Probably already has.
But no, he's pretty great. The engineering is really fun, like most of MMC stuff is. And if you liked They're Not Vortex, you'll like this guy the same way. And yes, Eddie, I'm definitely buying the whole combiner. The only thing that doesn't look good about all of them is their onslaught looks pretty crappy. His robot mode, he's got this really long torso that just never ends. Because I don't know. The engineering is still pretty awesome from what I've seen of it. But it just looks wonky in robot mode. But we, of course, know these things are going to get combined, and they're going to live in combined mode for the most part. But all the figures do look spot on.
I would love that Swindle. I love the purple hood.
Yeah,
that's so cartoony. Like he would do good on his own.
I feel like Swindle is has the most character of them. He's the only one I can tell you anything about their character. Like, really, most of all the combiners, I think him and Silverbolt are the only thing I know, like, a personality trait about,
First Aid doesn't like guns and fighting.
I'll take your word for it.
There was a whole episode about it.
I believe you. He has a great head sculpt, too. He's got this great smile. He's trying to rope in somebody with some overpriced, stolen from Vietnam Transformer toys.
I've got some Jing toys for you right here.
He's trying to sell them for, like a retail figure for $50. He's trying to sell it for $200 because it's a month early. He's doing some stuff like that with that grin. It's even got blue hands. You need to buy it. You can just tell.
Some people get it for free.
But no, he's great. I'm looking forward to the combiner, even though Onslaught looks a little disappointing. But yeah, Blastoff looks great. Like, they all really look like their cartoon model. Whereas none of the rest of them do as a whole set. Onslaught's a little off, but it'll be all right. So, yeah.
All right.
Back to Rick. It looks like we can do about one more round. Probably.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Rick.
I'm on East Coast time, so it's like night time for me.
Oh, man. I should have done those movie toys together then.
Well, what's your other one, Paul? We can do a quick last round here.
I came across the Voyager Megatron at a Walmart.
He's really
check
what do
your
you think
Walmarts.
Yeah.
He's painted just like Soundwave. I transformed him the other night. He's interesting. He's so different than the movie Masterpiece toy. I don't really understand why these two lines are coexisting. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I guess it's like Siege and
Cash grab.
Masterpiece.
Just cash
The
grab.
nostalgia for the movies is there now. It's a thing.
Well, check out this mace. Woo!
The first movie was already, 13 years ago?
Wow.
12 and a half, but yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
God.
Head sculpt in this guy is really great. They had some gimmies to like make the legs, like the wings come out of the legs, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But this is just what I do like about these, even though I hate the movie designs. I love that they just said like, well, yeah, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna turn that piece of garbage into an actual toy that works. And so they've 13
Right.
years later,
13 years
they
later.
did they did it the way it was supposed to be done. I mean, they took the models. They've had all this time to kind of make new
They don't have to base it off production art.
engineering. Correct.
You know how long, like every meeting, I was fighting for a leader class blackout
Really?
while I was there. I'm like, we should make a leader class blackout. No, we need to make a leader class Ironhide. Well,
Well, but they weren't doing retroactive figures very often, right? I mean, here and there.
still.
Like Blackout died, and
Yeah.
Bone Crusher died, so those guys are gone.
Ironhide lived for a few movies at least.
Anyways,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
the Studio Series line. I hate the movies, but
Well,
The only
at
thing
least-
about that Megatron, he can't form the stupid hand clap cannon,
you can't. That's true.
so it fails.
Well, Lisa will never leave that Megatron though, because of his calves. It's a Simpsons reference. He's got huge calves. That toy does.
He does. He
Yeah.
does. Lucas, you got anything else?
No,
That was it.
that's
Yeah.
it. I don't have anything else.
Lucas' wallet is spent.
Right, exactly.
Well, I'll end us up then here with the last new thing I got, which is Studio Series Mixmaster. Came in from Hasbro Pulse. It is not bad. At first, I was mad at the at getting the truck mode pushed in together, and I realized I had missed a flap somewhere or whatever it was, or a pin or something. I was like, oh, okay, and that did that, and then it went together fine. It's much easier than the Revenge of the Fallen one, and the Revenge of the Fallen line was great, but anytime I transformed that toy, trying to figure out how the barrel fit together, like stuff has to go up and spin in non-intuitive ways to get that thing to work, and I never got the hang of it. This guy is much more straightforward. This is probably movie accurate, I don't know, but I don't like that, like these pistons just hang, and then these things just hang. Nothing really like.
They made it work.
Like,
They had to make it work.
it feels like they should go somewhere and
It's
be
like
like
the movie.
part of it, but they don't. They just float, you know?
Does it have the third transformation?
Yes.
It does.
The
Wow.
gun?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, the gun, like I know it has the truck, and I've seen something else where where the face comes out the back, but like the barrels are like staggered. The four parts are. There's like a part here and then another part here down at the bottom or something. Is that what we're talking about?
Well, it has the combined mode, truck mode,
It's like
the
an
robot
attack
mode.
mode or a defense mode or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've seen some pictures that might be what you're talking about, but it could also just be the
Maybe that's a
combined
fan
mode.
mode.
I'm not sure.
He's supposed to have like a big ass gun that comes out of his back, and
No,
like
that's
you can shoot
he
it.
does not
The
have-
old toy had
he
it.
does not have a gun. That was actually one of my complaints with the figure is there's no accessories. It's just him. And I understand them, as you're saying, the movie designs are they are what they are. And I like that they're weird and oddball, but he has no hands. Like, he's got his claws, which, okay, that's fine, but you can still give a peg and give me a gun to throw in his hand, or give another half of the hand or whatever, but it's not too bad. There is some parts forming. Be warned. The shell of the front of the truck comes off to reveal Devastator's smiling face. So that's fine, but there's a lot of paint on him in here on the face, which is nice. Like, all the teeth are silver tip. There's a bunch of little green dots, and there's red on it. So I feel that this has a good amount of paint, for Studio Series line.
So, this came up on the Twitter machine the other day. I'm going to throw this out to the group here. Do you guys think there's going to be a Studio Series Skids and Mudflap?
I think there should be. I doubt there will be, but I think there should be.
Okay. Lucas?
I would think there will be eventually.
Yeah. Robert?
They want to forget that ever happened, is my opinion. I think
No!
the Human Alliance figures are still good figures. Those characters are garbage.
Yeah.
But the Human Alliance figures are good. I mean, there's been plenty of other good characters that they still put out new figures for.
I'm still waiting for a better Wheelie, man. Wheelie was my favorite character in the whole movie franchise.
They're coming out with a wheelie with Shockwave.
There is a wheelie.
It's complete
It's not-
garbage.
It's just a quarter. It's a thing.
not even
It's
a
a little
quarter.
tiny
He-
thing.
Paul has
It's a
one.
nickel.
He has it. It is complete garbage. So no, I don't think we'll get Skids and Mudflap unless
No,
Yeah, see, there you go.
I think if they did,
the face isn't
Joe
painted
Pesci.
right.
The paint is pretty good. I mean, this is as good
No,
as it
the
gets.
face is supposed to be gray.
Oh, his eyes are red. I guess is what I was excited about.
but
Well, his eyes are red.
but I
Yeah.
think that leaves us with 3 more pieces to build Devastator. I'm looking forward to putting that together. I hope it ends up awesome.
Who does Brains come with?
They both come with Shockwave.
They both come with Shockwave. Wow. All right.
They're very small. I think these are, if those Unicron figures are going to be like the same thing.
Yep.
These are some of the smallest
They call them
Transformer
slug
related things I've seen.
figures.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means or why that, but that's what they call them. Slug.
It's typically referred to a figure that doesn't transform.
Okay. Yeah, they don't have anything.
Yeah, they don't transform, but the detail on them is extensive. So, I mean, shit, if you want them,
Yeah.
get them.
I am a wheelie
Smoke
fan.
if you got them.
I got to hold the wheelie prop. That was a cool day for me.
That's cool.
The car, or do they have a
Oh.
robot too?
No, the remote control car.
So
That's cool.
what do you
It
not?
was pretty big.
What do you not like about the wheelie we have? Because we do have a wheelie that transforms, and is he just too
Well,
big?
we had the Legends class wheelie, which is garbage, and then we had the deluxe wheelie
Yeah.
from it's right here. Oh, look at this! Yeah. We had this wheelie.
I mean, he's way out of
Yeah.
scale, but
This is just it's.
so you want a Legends that
Yeah.
isn't crap?
I want a Studio Series transforming wheelie.
Probably. Beep.
I like Wheelie. He was the best character in the whole film for me. Has nothing to do with G1
That's a low
Wheelie.
bar.
I mean, what do you want me to say? Day Trader? I mean, Steve Buscemi, the
I don't
Transformer.
even remember which one he's in. Didn't he
They-
Didn't they try to hump
he's part
Megan
5.
Fox's leg or something? Is that Wheelie?
Wheelie was in part 2, 3, and 5.
Okay. Ugh.
Yeah, he skipped the 4th outing. What was that one? Age of Extinction. Yeah, he skipped that one.
I got one more thing to send us off if
Yeah,
you want,
go for it. Let's run it by real quick.
but I
And
won't.
we'll put a pin in this. Oh, he's taking off the headset. He can't hear
I
us.
need you to narrate this moment for me, somebody.
Paul reached under his desk and he put on a shining yellow and silver obelisk. It's a bumblebee helmet, and the eyes are lighting up blue while it makes terrible radio static noises. Because everyone looks.
Do you talk through the radio?
It's Bluetooth. He can't hear us.
How come your Autobot symbol is not painted on your forehead?
Oh man. But you put that on and you go hitting up the clubs, you're gonna be getting some digits.
Yeah, there you
Get all
go.
the digits.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
Bumblebee's
Yeah.
getting laid tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to see my stinger? Yeah.
Oh wow.
No, that
You're
helmet
about to get
is
stung.
way. If you can find that helmet at Burlington, totally worth the $10 to $20. Get it.
Nice.
It has Bluetooth on it, and you
Well-
can listen to music.
I don't know about that, but I gotta, you know,
Wheelie or
Oh, there you
To
go.
that one,
please want a
not
little
worth it.
squeaks action, you know.
dude.
I got this
Got
for
that big arm.
$5.
I feel like that
Look at the
Squeaks
big
helmet is like something that Peter would get and show off on his Infinity Closet. He's like, I checked the box.
Next.
There you go. Next.
Don't judge me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap us up. This was Ouch My Wallet, part of the TF Talk Network. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. We have a bunch of content. We get microcasters on Tuesday live on Facebook. Ouch My Wallet, obviously, live here on Wednesdays. Cut the Tape, which is Rick's pre-recorded show, usually goes up on Fridays. And then, of course, our bread and butter is our TFLP, TFYLP show on Sundays at 11 Central, noon Eastern.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. If you enjoy what we do, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/TFYLP. Tier start at $1. It really just helps to pay for server costs to host our podcasting. And
And buy Sudafed.
all right, gonna stay away from that. I know where he's going. I live in Tennessee. All right. Mhm. All right. So, any parting thoughts here? Or are we ready to get out? I did. I think I.
One day we'll complete Devastator.
I think. I think.
One day.
I think it'll happen probably by summer. Those figures are.
No, I think Studio Series will get canceled, and the last one will go to like Ross or like a Kroger's, and it'll just be the biggest debacle in the whole world.
Oh, that'll be so good.
Oh my god!
I'm calling it now. They've been trolling us for a whole year and a half.
Oh,
They know that last figure's going to Kroger's.
They're going to do the
know
same
that.
with Cyberverse. That last McAdams piece will come out.
That's right. That's right.
And instead, you'll have to buy the
Right.
finished one at San Diego Comic Con at like
You
for
gotta buy
$80.
MP. You gotta buy MP44 plus 2 in order to get it.
All right. So with that, we're out. So thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you at the next show. Bye.